Good afternoon, Mr. Mack.
Good afternoon.
After carefully reviewing the case of Mr. Ronnie Long, I will now be asking you a few questions. Why do you think they refused to give him a new trial?
Based on the time period in which it was the mid 70s, and at that time, they weren't giving any new trials or any reconciliation. Whoever they said was guilty at that time. So most of what I think about where they didn't give him a new trial or they refused it is because it was a racial issue. It was mostly racial to me. So.
Okay. What are some of your opinions on racial injustice?
It shouldn't be allowed. This is 2014, and we have so many diverse cultures inside of America, is that we shouldn't have an issue with race any longer. If the laws were just, and if everything that was done before was rectified. Seeing as how neither one of those have happened, the laws aren't just, and the past discretion that will happen to people in the past have not been set right, there's always going to be a racial tension as far as America is concerned.
Okay. How do you overall feel about the case?
It just reminds me of another case, Darrell Hunt case. We also have another gentleman who based out of, I think it's High Point. He's similar cases. And it's all based upon the female having something done to them and then the white jury deciding on a black man's fate. It's just a total injustice. I can't see how this could be done right except for letting the man be free, especially when there was no DNA tying this man to the case, and they won't do a DNA test, and there's no true evidence except for someone saying and outlining that he was the person. There's been plenty of cases of mistaken identity in plenty of cases, and this is Fairwell might be one of them as well. So they need to just look into it. What I read about was that the Supreme Court is getting ready to try to take it on and try to see what they can do about this gentleman getting released. But he still pleads his innocence, which he should, especially if he didn't do it. You shouldn't admit to any crime that you didn't do. But if you do a crime, you should admit to it and pay the consequences and do the time accordingly. But when there's an injustice such as this one, it's going to be hard unless you got some diligent attorneys and they can bring up old evidence that wasn't brought up before. But other than that, I just, it's so many of our brothers inside of the prison system that have been locked up based on just identity or the wrong person. So it's just an injustice. I can't take it.
Thank you for your time.